another video. Today, actually, I was gonna do another live video on certain thing, another one on another topic, but I was on. It's funny. I was on Twitter again, and I saw that a famous rapper musician, XX Tentacion. Oh my gosh, I can't pronounce his name. My friends always clown me for that. But XX uh, was pronounced dead today in Florida. Apparently, he was shot by a drive-by, which is really scary. The point of this video is that despite I was not a huge fan, but where's the blood, yo? Yeah, that's interesting. Well, a lot of people said that he was shot in the head, and apparently it's like on his shoulder or something. I don't know. It's a lot of speculation going on. I wasn't a huge fan of his music. Some stuff it was okay. I wasn't too crazy about, but the fact that this guy's life got cut short so early, it's quite scary. Nobody should have their life ended at 20. I mean, he has so many things to go forward as a musician. But it's crazy. But it's very interesting to point out that I was watching another podcast, and his name was Joe Budden. Now, everyone who knows Joe Budden, I love his podcast channel. But he talked about something similar about this, how the new generation, like these new generation of rappers, are they're it's like a blending in between street life and the music industry. It's a lot blurred now, and he predicted this kind of thing, which is weird and strange. That I know this week there was this thing I was reading that Rich the Kid got robbed or got beaten, is in the hospital. And so a lot of these, and a couple weeks ago, Lil Uzi Vert was jumping him, or some of his people were jumping him, and things like that. And so it's hard. It's not like back in the day where when a rapper had or some guy had problems in the street, it was not safe. But now it's all blended in. You don't know who is who, because everyone is all master identity, and people. Social media is so readily available that you can't tell what's going to happen. And so his passing is quite scary. I know from personal experience, I've lost friends from gun violence. I tell you one story. One time, 4 years ago, was it 4 years ago, before I came to China, I used to do a lot of protesting and a lot of community organizing, and one of them was about gun violence, especially from the city of Winston-Salem. We have one of the highest gun violence in our state, and I remember that we did a march. We did a march because a kid got shot, and me and a couple of group organizers and the mother decided to let's do this thing to remember him, but also do the shout out of gun violence, we need to stop this, blah blah blah. And a couple months later, there was a kid that was protesting beside me. I talked to him, he was cool, became friends. And a couple months later, the same kid who was protesting with us got shot in the same neighborhood. And that kind of that got me all crazy. And then also that same year, I also lost another friend, but it wasn't through gun violence. It was through a car accident. He was a childhood friend of mine, but he was cut short very early, very young in age. I wasn't, like I said, wasn't a huge fan. This is so sad. I'm hurt inside. I can't believe this is real. I hope it's fake. Yeah, it's very sad. I mean, I wasn't a huge fan of his music, but I saw that he was changing. I saw that he was finding a new way in his life. And actually some stuff that he was saying on social media was very positive. He was very positive. He was always saying believe in yourself and be who you want to be. And despite his demons, man, look, nobody's perfect. no musician is perfect. I mean, I know he didn't have blood on him. Yeah, yeah. He didn't. It's quite interesting, actually. But we'll find out what happened, who did it. I predict that. I don't know who I know he had beef with some people. Famous people, probably. It's probably one of those people. Maybe it's the Migos. I don't know. Anyway, Migos is always in trouble. Who shot him? Why? Do you have any info? Who shot him and why? People, there was like this thing where people said it was a drive-by in a van or in a truck, and some people say it was by a motorcycle. I don't know. 6ix9ine is gonna be next. 6ix9ine, yeah. 6ix9ine is always causing trouble. I'm just as confused as anyone on here. Maybe I'll do an up-to-date news, whatever. Why is everyone 6ix9ine would be next? Cause 6ix9ine's always causing trouble. He's always like causing beef and always arguing with people and like taking baby mama shopping. And but I think they mugged him and shot him. I think so. It looked like they did. I don't know. It's no way it's a drive-by. If it was a drive-by, his car would got bullet holes all over the place. I think they pulled up on him and shot him in the window, and then they just jetted off in a motorcycle. There's no way they did it in a truck. People could have seen that. I don't know. We'll find out later. But the problem is, when it comes to hip-hop killings, no one ever snitches. So we'll never know who shot him. Be like Biggie and Tupac. Not that he's on that level, or was that level. But in terms of like crime and all that, maybe 6ix9ine killed him. Laugh out loud, joking. You never know. You never know. Could be the Migos. I don't know. Migos actually have beef with him too. Maybe Migos people came up and shot him up. Migos, they're not the most cleanest people on the planet when it comes to their personal records. I think all of them went to jail for some sort of crime. I don't know. I like Migos, but they're not like the most perfect people on the planet either. But the point I'm making is that at age 20, people have a lot of things that they need to see. There's a lot of things that they have a long life ahead of them. And just his life to be cut that short, we'll never know what happened. He probably, I know he was going through some sort of allegations about abusing women, which I know that's a no-no. It's a huge no-no. And I know he had other demons that he was battling with, like depression and whatnot. And so it's hard to see somebody that young. I believe he was involved in some drug business. He probably was too. We can do a lot of speculation. We can do a lot of like, he was in this and he was in that. But I think maybe as time goes through, we will find more and more information about his dealings in life and what really happened. As of right now, everybody's full of emotions, whether good or bad. Some people are, very sad about this, and some people, there's a lot of people, as I heard, are congratulating this type of event because there's a lot of people who didn't like him either. Which I hate that, because why would you feel that way about somebody's death? Kind of like Anthony Bourdain when he died. There was a lot of like negative stuff about that. He killed himself. Like, he's so selfish and things like that. I know who said that in one of their videos, but I mean, at the end of the day, when somebody's going through mental illness, people don't know what's going on with other people. They don't know how to deal with people who have mental illness. It's hard to diagnose. It's hard to treat it because at the end of the day, it comes within that person. And to make jokes and to like make it feel like, oh, this person like is ridiculous. This person doesn't have an idea what they want. It's hard. Depression is a really big deal. And in order for us to have a healthy conversation, we need to put away our ignorance and put away our differences and just go straight to the root of the problem and try to make it a better world for us to understand and heal people with mental illness. And I think giving this attention and focusing on this attention will make things much better. So I will say this is that XXXTentacion's Death is a reminder that life is not a joke, and life can happen. Life can end to anyone, as long as you're not dealing with negative stuff and not involved in some criminal activity. You'll be okay. But life is short. 20 years old is a short life. He could have probably collaborated with Lil Uzi Vert. Maybe they could have been friends. Maybe he could have been friends with me. I don't know. He could have had a better. Maybe his life would have been much grander what it was now. Maybe life would have turned around for him. He was doing positive things. But it's also a reminder to a lot of people who are about that life that, be careful being internet thugs, or be careful being too tough. Because there's somebody out there who's really about that life and who really will pull up on you. I know a lot of people who always act tough and like, yeah, I'm a thug and like no one's gonna stop me. But when you're 20 years old, when I was 20, 9 years ago, I was naive and thought I was like the ish. I'm Superman. No one can stop me. But somebody gave me a hard knock on the head and say, look, man, like you have a life ahead of you. You can't be ignorant. You can't be like that, because somebody who's really about that life will say, oh, really? You are? And, who knows? And I've known lots of friends who passed. Guru says, y'all talk crime, but scared of jail. That is true. And I know lots of my friends who are either been in jail, who have, well, not say friends, but people I know who have been in jail or been shot, who've been killed, who are still actually dealing with crime and all that. And not friends at this point, but people I've known. And they never learn. But once you trap into that life, you can never get into that life because you have other people who are pulling you into that life. I'm fortunate that I've grew up with people, and I've always been with people in my life that's always carried me into the positive light and saw me for who I was. And probably even people here who are watching this video who are my subscribers, who I know personally. Without these people and telling me you should do it this way, and and always giving me positive feedback, and always making sure that I'm doing okay, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel like that I've always been in the right path. And unfortunately, there's people out there that don't have that opportunity, don't have that guide. If I could do that, that'd be nice, but I'm only one person. And plus, I don't think anybody wants me to clone myself. I think one Johnny is enough. I think one is enough for me. But I would say this is that hip-hop is not a safe game still, believe it or not. And like Joe Budden put it in the right way, that the lines are blurred. Street life and hip-hop life is more blurred than ever, because everybody's hands in everything. Like look at the Pusha T and Drake thing. Jay Prince. Like Jay Prince has been in some interesting things. You can look him up on the internet. He's been in some interesting beefs. And some lives have been taken. But I'm not gonna go further into that. But hip hop is still a dangerous game, believe it or not. But people don't know that because they don't see that. And social media is it's even more of an open field because people say things off the fly. And remember, there's people who are still OGs in the game that, social media is not, it's not going to be, social media is not it. They're more about that. They're not keyboard gangsters. They're real gangsters out there. And there are some people who are in the street life, who are in the hip hop business, who will call up people and say, hey man, we need to take care of this guy. Not that I say XX was into that kind of thing, but I've noticed I was watching a lot of things about him and like the fights he was getting into, the beef he was getting into people. Bound to some of those people were into that street life. And that's one thing I would like to say is be careful who you deal with in life, because those people might not be in your best interest. I've known people like that too. They're not part of my life, but I know as acquaintances, you know. And I've heard some of their stories. I have I have stories for days. Like, I can go on for days and days about people I've met. You met those people? 'Cause I don't look like that type of person. But I've got some interesting stories about people I've met who are about that life. You know, I never dealt with them, but they're quite interesting people. So, his death is something that will probably be talked about for a while, maybe for a long time. But it's very sad to see somebody that young passing away. You know, I mean, who knows? I just hope that other rappers who are acting the same way as him just make sure they should change their ways right away. You know, but somebody gone in that age shows that, you know, life is no joke, and that, you know, we have to be careful what we do with our life, and we also have to live our life the fullest. You know, do everything you want to do in your life. You know, I know a lot of people say, oh, I want to do this. Just do it. You know, always believe in yourself. Always stick with people who always see you in a positive way, who want to put you in a positive light and push you in a positive direction. You don't hang with people who will put you down, because there's people out there who will put you down. I know a lot of people. You know, there's still some people out there who will still want to put me down. I know these things, but I don't care, because I'm doing what I want to do. But I know there's people out there who love to see me succeed, and I also want those people to succeed as well. So, on this note, before I go, because I gotta meet a friend, I gotta meet Alex again. I would say this is that, you know, be careful who you deal with in life. Always respect others. Never give up on yourself. And if you're 20, 15, 16, however age you're watching this video, you know, you have a full life ahead of you. So make the best of it. And always be aware of yourself and your surroundings. And always spread positivity, never negativity. So, I will see you guys on the next video. Rest in peace, XXXTentacion. Rest in peace. A lot of people, I don't know, man, like the last couple weeks, people have been dying. Like, Anthony Bourdain is still the hardest one for me. I saw that Hong Kong video, the Hong Kong episode, and the stuff he said in that video, in the episode, it hit home. So, you know, especially living in Asia for so long, you know, there's a lot of things that I've loved and cherished, and still do, and still am, about living in Asia and in China. I think maybe it's good that I'm far away from the States. You know, I'm safe. So, thank you for guys watching this live video. Please share this video. Please like, share, subscribe this channel. If you made it to the end of this video. If you have, congratulations, you win an award. And always believe in yourself. Peace.